Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Commander Clash podcast. And this week, it is time for some more Shark Tank. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Commander Clash podcast, where the Commander Clash crew talks all things Commander. And this week, we're doing some more Shark Tanking, and we got a super sweet crew here today. We got Phil and Krim and Tomer. How's it going, guys? Are you ready for some Shark Tank?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. I have some jank for you all. If not floodgates, maybe these.
No, please don't.
Maybe these. Have you heard of Fade Away?
Oh my God, Tomer. Tomer's going to get kicked out of the Shark Tank building here shortly. Yeah.
Has any Shark Tank member or like pitcher ever gone back onto the show to resell the same item? I'm very curious.
I know it didn't work the first
persistence.
Time, but, you know.
I did not change the product, but here we are.
I have all the same
better
pitches.
of age. It's moldier and better than ever.
Before we get to the pitches, we got a couple of sponsors today. Today's show is brought to you by Foil Armor. Do you have problems with your foils curling? Well, Foil Armor is the ultimate solution to flattening your foils. It's a two-way humidity pack that you simply put inside an airtight container with your cards, and Foil Armor will absorb and release moisture, making your cards completely flat. Put it back in your storage box to keep your cards flat forever, and you can head over to foilarmor.com and use the code MTGGoldfish to get 15% off. Our show is also brought to you by Card Conduit, the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. If you ever get tired of the hassles of buy listing, you can skip them with Card Conduit. You can use their curated service via sending as many cards as you want with a buy list value of $1 or more and pay just a 5% service fee. And if you want to do a bit of work, you can use their sorted service where you list and sort your cards in advance and pay just a 2% fee. Either way, you're going to get a detailed report with the results in a fast payment once your order is processed, and you can even get another 10% off by heading over to cardconduit.com/mtggoldfish. Card Conduit is the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. So thank you to our sponsors for supporting the show. And now it's time for the comment of the week. So last week, we talked about plays and cards that lead to big moments at the table. And our top comment comes from Geek and Seek. Says, Morgan here, honorable mention to Scrambleverse. But no, actually, Shadrach Silverquill is one of the cards for me. Don't get to play it too often, but it gets the table talking and leads to fun deals and such. So Morgan somehow stealing the top comment. I almost excluded it because I wasn't sure if it was fair for a Goldfish to win the top comment. But yeah, shout out to Scrambleverse, I guess, everyone's favorite big moment at the table.
No shout outs
I agree.
to Scrambleverse.
Anyway. Thank you for the comments. Leave another one. Maybe you'll get it next week. And let's do some Shark Tanking. So you probably know how this goes if you've seen past episodes of Shark Tank that we've done or the TV show. But basically, we're going to take turns pitching a sleeper card or a pet card to the rest of the crew and see if we can get them on board with playing that card. And we're going to start with Phil today. Phil, you're first in the Shark Tank. Give us your pitch.
All right. So I recently found a card, which I could only find recently because it is just released. Is that even legal on this format? But I guess at least me missed it during spoiler season. And then I ordered cards from the new set and just went through everything again. And then I found Desperate Plea. 2 mana. As an additional cast to cast this, sacrifice a creature and then choose one or both, which is probably what I overread in spoiler season. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield if its power is less than or equal to the sacrificed creature's power, or destroy a creature. So for 2 mana, you mini victimize something. So you sacrifice a creature, you get back a creature that has to have less than or equal power, and you straight up destroy a creature. So I've been trying this in Jadar, Ghoul Caller of Nephalia, where I can always sack a 2/2 zombie. And the reason why I try this is I checked my deck list, and let me just get through the cards here. So obviously you can get back 1-drops like Viserys here, Shambling Ghast and stuff. But the important part is Orcish Bowmasters, Blood Artist, Marionette Apprentice, Zulaport, Cutthroat, all the Blood Artist, not Sephiroth, that's 3 power. You could sacrifice something with 3 power though. And then in the 3-drops you get Ayara, First of Lockrain, Morbid Opportunist. Okay, let's just go through, let's just get the bigger ones. Yakmov has 2 power. Pitiless Plunderer has 1 power. Grey Merchant has 2 power. So I don't know what I misread in this card. Maybe I thought it would be mana value instead of power, and then you could kind of reanimate nothing if you sacrifice a token. But since it's power, even if you sacrifice a 1 power thing, you can get back a Blood Artist or Orcish Bowmasters. This one's mono black. If you play like Golgari, you can just get back a Steve or Eternal Witness. So I think this card is just pretty easy to hit a good, I don't want to say floor because the floor is no targets on both modes. But I think there's a pretty easy way to make it a clean 2 for 1, if I calculate correctly. I don't know how your commander creates tokens or something, but for my deck, it's very easy to sacrifice a 2-power thing. And I think this card plays very well. That said, and I should probably not say this during the pitch, haven't cast it yet, didn't draw it for Commander Night. I'm sure it's good.
Yes, that might have made your pitch slightly worse there, Phil.
Full disclosure.
I will say, I think I also misread this card a little bit. I think the thing I missed, so I did catch the 1 or both thing, but I kind of overlooked that it was power and not mana value, and that does make it way different. Like the stuff that you mentioned there, like being able to sack a Jadar token, get back a Gary or something, that actually seems pretty powerful. I think this is a card that you might be able to get me to invest in, assuming it's specifically for, like, your Jadar deck, maybe a Sephiroth deck, like, with a commander that actually, like, I don't know, has a sack theme, preferably something that even gives you fuel for the desperate plea to sacrifice. So in the right deck, I think I might be on board with this card. But what do the rest of you Sharks think, Tomer and Krim? Where are you at on this one?
I mean, I'd invest in like aristocrats, but it works specifically great in an aristocrats deck that can make sack fodder very readily. Like I feel like Jadar is just like it's a home run for this because, like you said, there's so many hits for it, and your 2-drop commander is the one providing the sack fodder. That seems perfect. I also like that the creatures enter the battlefield untapped when you reanimate with it. Double check. Yeah, it enters untapped. I believe like Victimize, which is another card that I consider very, very good. The creatures enter tapped. So they can't be immediate blockers, or if they have haste, they can't immediately attack and stuff. And so while this doesn't get 2 creatures and has more hoops or whatever, the fact that you're always killing something, no matter what, whenever you sack a creature, and the reanimation gets it untapped is very, very nice. So I think like, yeah, I would definitely invest in this card for aristocrats.
What about you, Grim?
I think I like it. Mostly, funny enough, you all are exactly like the removal side of it makes me happy just because this plays and leans into my play style. I like that it can be removal and also do other things, but removal first. So there's always a choice, like a spot in the game where I have something to do with this. So its versatility and it having Zuko on the artwork makes me very happy. So I'd invest in this. I'm questionable about the reanimation side and how often I'll actually use that, but that's the only deck I could see of mine having an application with this is like maybe Wick, right? Because you get the giant snail. but like outside of that, I don't have as many uses, at least for low like costing creatures. But I'm sure there's a lot of aristocrats and like all of that, like your Jadar deck that'll love this. So yeah, I'd invest. I'm like, it just barely clears the hurdle for me.
And I think,
I think it's.
Oh, go ahead, Phil.
I think it's like, I don't want to. It's probably the wrong, like pot decks where you sacrifice value creatures, are probably very good with this in the mid to late game because you can just sacrifice a, I don't know, Eternal Witness, get back a Wood Elves or something, and then like Gitrock, the Monstrous Rite or whatever it's called. There are decks that actually want to sacrifice big power things, and then I guess this is another one where it's like an easy auto include almost.
Yeah, you
Sharks,
could do
I think
some
we need to vote.
Cool things with high power creatures. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote yes within the context of the right archetype. I wouldn't play this in most decks, but in the deck that would want it, I'm a yes.
I'm also yes for these same reasonings.
Yeah, okay, lock it in. I'm with you. Yeah, okay.
I'll let you know how it
Yes.
plays
Yeah.
when I draw it.
Yeah, let us know once you draw it, Phil.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to our next pitch. Krim, I think you're up this time.
Boom. Easy right off the pitch. Right off the bat, this pitch is going to be killing it. It's, of course, Maximum Carnage, a 4-and-a-red saga from the Spider-Man side. Until your next turn, each creature attacks each combat, if able, and attacks a player other than you, if able. Chapter 2, add 3 red mana. Chapter 3, deal 5 to each opponent. Now, if you go back to Chapter 1, and you read that, and it is, until your next turn, each creature attacks each combat, if able. Now, this does not work like Goad, and like Goad's like, okay, when Goad happens, it's whatever's on the board at the time, right? No. Everything that you have that can attack next turn will have to attack, and that includes anything played after this is played. So, like, if you play a haster or something like that, you gotta swing at someone else that's not me. It's almost like when I look at my deck building, and, I talk about the 5 board wipes that I play in my deck, I call this the half a board wipe. I play 5.5 board wipes, and this is the 0.5, because that turn off is huge. And then it allows me to get everybody tapped down, and then it leads into the additional 3 red mana to allow me to do a big spicy play. And then, of course, that 5 damage to each opponent is very nice. It's the perfect cherry on top. Not the main course of the meal, but definitely a perfect topper after having a wonderful, delicious meal. So this card is exactly what I like, and it affects the board. Once again, like, you play it, it really does affect the board.
Sharks, what are we feeling?
You guys go first. I'm not sure on this Maximum Carnage. What do you guys think? Are you in on this card?
I think it plays well. It's a Spider-Man card, but I think it plays a little like the. I guess people can block, but the Taunt of the Rampart or something. Taunt from or off? I'm
Taunt from
sure.
the Ramparts, Lord of the Rings, like 5 mana Boros.
Yeah, this
go
one.
Your opponents and they can't block.
It's feels like an insurrection, and maybe this also feels similar, same mana value. And I actually add 3 red is kind of red. I think this Richard like this. It's a mono red ramp.
The problem
is so much better than Taunt from the Ramparts, right? Because, you're only goading what's on board, and you only get it once. Or you only get that first part, and that's it. Dude, no. This plays a lot better than you think.
There's no untapping after taunting.
So, the thing is, though, yes, it is an upside that it applies to future creatures as well, but I feel like that's a relatively narrow upside. Like, yeah, there are going to be times when someone hastes a creature or there's mass haste on the battlefield.
Creature lands.
But a lot of things, like, you could just not activate the creature land, or you could just not play the haste creature.
Sure.
So I'm not sure, like, how much different it actually would play than goading in practice. Like, maybe sometimes it would, but I feel like, to me, it reads like mass goad. I would definitely add this to, like, my Furkrag deck if I'm playing, like, a goad deck that is specifically about making creatures attack each other, but it's just, like, a generic effect. Honestly, I would rather just play There and Back Again and make a Smog if I'm going to be ramping with a 5-mana Saga and like getting an actual land on the battlefield.
See, that's wild, because There and Back Again does not interact with the board.
Yeah, that's not good.
I built my $1 million company on the back of There and Back Again. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you, shark pitcher.
This plays so much better than that. There's no way.
This makes me so mad.
So is this card actually even, like, I'm not going to dock it for being a Spider-Man card. That doesn't matter to me. I just don't know if those, like, second 2 lore counters do that much. 5-mana Mass Goad, sure. Make 3 mana, yes, that's always going to be fine. 5 damage to each opponent.
Prim, you've goaded me in real life because I'm so mad at you. Because this was the one I was most excited to put on my Shark Tank. Wow. I was going to fill in the morning, and then I see the Crim sniped it, and I was so upset. because like this card is very cheap, and please, when you're watching this, do not buy out this card. I swear. So what I was doing 40 decks under $40, and I was doing a bunch of red decks, and I kept looking at this card because it came out really recently, and it's pretty cheap, and it's doing all the things that I want it to be doing. And I'm like, God, it's so cheap, and I played it. And this card, like Krim said, it's kind of like a pseudo board wipe, but it's also like the red fog effect. This card is so good, and you could just play it whenever you want at any given time in the game. The goad effect is just really good because it forces people into uncomfortable attacks, and it gives you a full turn of not being attacked, which is nice. But also, like, people are attacking into like small creatures, small utility creature attacking into things like your Oracle Muldier or whatever is dying to a blocker or whatnot, and then you're clearing the path for an attack next turn. And then the mana, 3 mana is just good.
The mana's huge.
It puts you up 3 next turn. That's just amazing. And then the final one, okay, it maybe doesn't look the most impressive, but late game, after you force everybody to attack, turn 9 or whatever, you force everybody to attack with a lot of damage. Maybe that 5 could be the difference between you killing somebody or not on that turn. It's so good. If for 5 mana, it's so good. And it's 40 cents. Please don't buy it out. I have so many, all the red decks have this in it. I put it in my Furcrag deck, and then I was like, why don't I just put it in all my red decks? And then I did, and it's good. And it's so good.
That's legit where I'm at. I play it in just red decks. If it has red, I love it.
It's so good.
Now I kind of want to buy it out just to troll Tomer and make him rewrite his article. Yeah,
please, you can buy it out after December when the video comes out, please.
Okay, Sharks. I'm out on this one. The third lore counter just doesn't do enough for me. Like, yes, I'll play it in Furcrag, but I'm not going to invest in it. The third lore counter not exciting enough. So I guess it's up to you guys. I know Tomer's in, so Phil, I think you're really the deciding vote here.
I'm actually out. I don't want the price to go up. I'm not investing.
I'm investing,
leave it alone.
Even though I just think it plays very well, and I don't like attacking, and forcing me to attack is just
I know.
fits me, and I think it's brutal for a lot of board states.
It's the red fog, but it does so much more.
People are so passive, and this like no, you cannot pass the turn. You have to attack somebody.
That might be why
it
you
can't
like
be
it.
me,
I don't have to
and it
attack
cannot
people.
be me.
Wait, do you have to? I mean, I guess you can play it post combat.
Yeah, you'd have to play a second main, and then it wouldn't affect you if you play a second main. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Well,
right.
I think we got a winner. Two Sharks in. So
Dang.
Krim, you have the investment. Let's move on to Tomer. Tomer, what's your first pitch?
Okay. I have a lot. I have some weird stuff, but let's go for one that is like weird, but I feel very appropriate and timely for all you listeners out there. I got Invoke Calamity. Invoke Calamity is an instant, a red instant, and it's got a lot of red pips in it. It's 5 mana, and it's 1 generic and 4 red pips. So you got to be really red heavy to cast this, like 1-2 colors. It's an instant that says you may cast up to 2 instant or sorcery spells with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard and or hand without paying their mana cost. If those spells would be put into your graveyard, exile them instead. Exile Invoke Calamity. So this is insane flexibility. Not only can you cheat out spells from your hand and also your graveyard, so access flashback at instant speed, but you can do sorceries at instant speed too. So this is actually like a 5 mana board wipe when you need it. You have a board wipe in your hand or graveyard, and somebody's swinging at you that you didn't expect. You wipe the board at instant speed. It's pretty good. And the reason why I mentioned it was very timely for right now, is Avatar just came out, and we just got a lot of firebending. So suddenly, those red pips, if you're in a deck that makes firebending mana pretty consistently, like, I don't know, maybe the most popular commander that comes out of Avatar by a long mile is Azula, and she likes casting stuff at instant speed, and she happens to be firebending. Well, you cast Invoke Calamity, you get to copy it, you get to cast up to 2 spells, again, at instant speed, you get to copy those 2. Azula, boom, 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 and she even provides the firebending mana to cast all those red pips too. This card is actually insane. I started putting it in like all my Is It Spellslinger decks, but like, because the red is expensive, but it's so good. And you actually get more mana value than what you put into it because it's 5, but you get up to 6 mana value out of it too. And instant speed board wipes and stuff is just, Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So there you go. That's a weird one. Azula tech for you all. Timely.
I mean, so the biggest downside I see is it does have a lot of red pip. So yeah, your Azula mana base might be a little sketchy, although I guess the firebending mana kind of helps there, right? Because that's all red mana. So if you're firebending, that kind of takes care of it. I think the card's very powerful. I think the card's very powerful as long as you got a bunch of spells. I don't think I can invest in it, though, because I'm already invested in a company that's built to stop firebending, and it would be a conflict of interest if I was now, investing in these firebending cards. So I might have to sit out the investment, but I do think the card is actually very good.
Embracer in a red.
That's my preview card. So,
I didn't even know that. Oh my god. I was researching the sharks.
Oh, I didn't know you were buttering me up, Tomer. Okay. No,
and the person who previewed it is just so charming and smart.
Best preview article
ever. What a great preview article, by the way.
I've never seen a better preview card.
Yeah.
No, I do like this for that exact reason. Because of the firebending, as you had mentioned, because for the longest time, the quad red pips, okay, if you're out of a mono red deck, I probably would not play this. I wouldn't even play this in 2 colors, to be completely honest. Unless it's Invoke Despair, where my whole deck, everything makes black mana, and you have an Urborg. But since there's no red Urborg outside of a Blood Moon, I find it very, very, okay, there's other Blood Moon effects as well, but I find this very hard to cast outside of a mono red deck. But in a mono red deck, I actually love this card. I think there's a lot of play to it, and like Tomer had mentioned, being able to do it instant speed, super solid. Love that. Love getting around timing restrictions. I love this in mono red. I will buy into this for simply mono red.
I do it in Is It Spellslinger. It's not too bad for me, at least.
I think at least you got to be spellslinging. I don't know. If you're mono red to goblins, I don't know. But Is It Spellslinger? Is It doesn't have the best mana fixing, although they do have a bunch of treasures. I want to like this card, and when it released, I thought, wait, this gotta be good. And I'm not a big instant or sorcery guy, so I'm probably never gonna find a deck where I would put this in, like that I play, unless it's Clash. I like the idea of firebending into it. That is cool. And copying it with Azula, yeah.
Doubling it with Azula is kind of insane, right?
You double a spell and then you double the spells you cast off.
Oh my god,
so
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So much value.
Yeah.
And it makes red mana. Okay, maybe I'll invest. It might not be ethical, but I'm in. I will
embrace
I will
being the
invest.
problem.
Yeah, that's a good pick. All right, what's our final votes, Sharks?
Yeah, final votes.
I
in.
like it. I like instant sorceries. I'm a fan. And it's my preview card. Okay, but that actually has very little weight into what this actually does for me. I just like it because it's good for spell slinging.
I want to like it, so I give it a little investment, but not too much because I try to play it.
Just a little off the top.
A little, sure.
All right. We're going to move on to my first pitch. And all right, Sharks, I got a good one for you. So, Sharks, over the past few seasons, we've seen the Fog meta emerge on Commander Clash, where Richard started playing Fogs, and then everyone started playing Fogs, and then people started playing damage can't be prevented spells like Isengard Unleash to beat the Fogs. I think the next logical step of this meta is to play Fogs that beat the damage can't be prevented spells. So today, I would like to sell you on a forgotten Commander 2019 gem in Mandate of Peace. So Mandate of Peace, it's a 2-mana instant that you can only cast during combat, and it makes it so your opponents can't cast spells for the rest of the turn, and it ends the combat phase. So I know 2 mana sounds like a lot for a Fog, when some of the best ones are 1 mana, or Obscuring Haze can be free, but this isn't like some 5 mana Ink Shield or super expensive Fog. It's only 2 mana, plus there's some huge upside on this card, because first, it ends the combat phase. So this is a Fogs that actually beats damage can't be prevented spells, because you're not preventing the damage, you're just fizzling the attacks. The attackers are removed from combat. Anything on the stack also gets removed, which is really interesting, because right now in Commander, The hottest thing going is firebending. If you look on EDH Rec in like the past month of commanders, Firelord Azula is number 1. But even beyond that, Avatar Aang is like in the top 10. Iroran Lotus is in the top 10. Firelord Zuko's in the top 10. Everyone's playing these decks that have firebending commanders. And Mandate Apiece is so good against them because it doesn't just prevent the damage, but it also fizzles the firebending. It fizzles any of the spells that Azula would have put on the stack if it gets to that point. So it's like this ridiculous super fog. But it keeps getting better because it keeps your opponent from casting spells for the rest of the entire turn, not just during combat. So if your opponent plays the way that you're supposed to play Magic, which is you do combat first and then you play during your second main phase, this can be 2 mana, make your opponent skip their turn essentially, along with fizzling any of their combat damage. So I'm here to sell you on Mandate Apiece, being a worthwhile addition to your fog slots, especially right now where firebending's everywhere, and for the Commander Clash meta where we just have this weird inbred like fog thing going on. So I think this card's actually kind of insane right now. But what do you think about Mandate Apiece?
This is the
I think I'm going to order one. This is insane.
It's also only like $1 or something, $1.50. Yep. It's like still very cheap, and it doesn't have any reprints yet.
This is so inbred, though. For us, this feels absurdly inbred, right? Like,
in our meta,
chalk it up with like a darkness, call it a day. But this is like specifically good in our meta.
And firebending. It's good against firebending.
That no one's shutting down the firebending that way, right? They're just gonna remove the creature or something like that.
People will do anything but run Swords of Plowshares.
Play swords. I do not know how I feel about this card. I like the idea. I like the gotcha moment. That is what's appealing to me. The gotcha moment speaks to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I am.
Phil is ordering as we speak. I can see him typing. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie. I like that.
What do you think, Tomer?
I like it as a memorable card. Like we just had a podcast recently where we were talking about like Rakdos Charm and stuff like that. This card is just very funny because also, like Seth said, if you were going to be attacking, generally speaking, you would attack first and then cast most of your spells afterwards, unless it would enhance your attack in any given way. That's like the proper way of playing Magic. And this kind of punishes that. And I think that's very, very funny.
It really
Where
does.
like if you have like a good attack or whatever, and you didn't need to haste anything in or whatever, or pump up your team, you just go in and attack and you're going to cast your spells later, and Mandate Apiece shows along and it's just like, no, skip your turn.
Yep.
I think that's very fun. I think that's worth it just for that. Is it worth the extra mana in general over a fog? Probably not, but I think it's very funny. And then I guess if you're in a super inbred meta like us, where
then it gets even better.
Absurdly inbred.
I'm running damage can't be prevented all the time. But I think it's worse than a fog unless it's funny, and then it's better.
Am I underestimating your opponent can cast spells this turn? Maybe people just generally don't play, I guess, as they should. Depends on the situation, but usually you should attack first. In this case, it just time stops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 2 mana make your opponent skip their turn is crazy. I think it comes up quite a bit. Like there are times.
It also counters a fog.
It does counter a fog.
It also is a fog.
It's a fog that counters a fog. Yeah. I mean, I think there are times when people want to like haste stuff in and they do stuff first main phase, but a lot of times I think this will be able to like make someone skip their turn. Like a decent percentage of the time you can get the like full skip your turn out of it.
You can just, I mean, you usually don't, if you don't attack, you don't go into your second main, but
you could have still cast it during combat even if no one attacked you, I guess, technically, if there were no creatures, but all right, where are we at, Sharks? What are we voting? What are we voting on this one? Give me that money.
I'm investing in it, but I'm optimistic. I
don't think
funny.
I don't think it's superior than just a straight up fog, but I think it's funny, and so I will invest in it for memes.
I like funny, so I'm also in on it just because of that, and because
it's a small investment.
Forget about this card.
Yep, same.
All right, let's go to round 2. Round 2, back to the top of the order. Phil, hit us with something good.
Here's a card that I thought in spoiler season, wait, that's gotta be good. And I I think it's worth the 5 mana. It is pulled from the Weft. 5 mana sorcery. Return up to 2 target non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand, and then return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So, funnily enough, it's an uncommon. It is very, very cheap. So cheap, in fact, that you can easily get the, promo pack version. That's how I noticed the card, because every set I check these weird edge foil or something, full art, full color promos, because I like to look at them. And Edge of Eternity actually had 3 good ones. I ordered all of them, and I played 2 of them, and this one, I think it's going to make it into one of my decks eventually, if I get enough fetches, because that's kind of the crux here. You're really going to make sure you get 2 lands with this. So the ceiling is you get 2 lands, and then you get 2 permanents. The floor is nothing, as with a lot of cards, but I think it's very easy to have this be a weird mix of Eternal Witness once and then like explosive vegetation, or am I don't know. 5 mana, only late game, but you ramp and you refill your hand. It's a 4 for 1. So I think that's good.
This is a banger. This is like, so I saw this card as a landfall deck, or a landfall card. Like, if you're a landfall deck, generally speaking, you're running, even like the bad fetches are fine. Like, again, I was doing 40 decks under $40, and like I made like 3 different landfall decks. Each one was like, okay, well, Terramorphic Expanse is 2 landfall triggers. I don't care that it enters top, like, it's not as good as a fetch. But if you run enough of those, then pull from the web.
The Capella fetches will fetch for themselves with this, even if they enter tapped.
Yeah. You just run a bunch of those, and you're ramping anyway because you're a landfall deck, so 5 mana, who cares? And you're probably permanent heavy anyway. So it's very easy to be like, 5 mana, I explosive veggie, landfall trigger double times, and then I get 2 other permanents at the same time. That's kind of bananas. It's kind of bananas. I don't know about other archetypes, but this is very good.
It's kind of funny because I didn't even think of landfall. I was thinking of like South Mill graveyard style decks, right? Or like land shenanigans style decks, which Wizards seems to be printing more and more of these commanders like Hearthhole that care about lands going in out of the graveyard, or get lands in out of the graveyard, sacrifice lands. So in a deck like that, it seems really, really good. I actually really like this. I could see just playing this in some of my like 3 to 5 color decks, because the way I build my mana base is like 9 or 10, depending on the colors, like fetch lands anyway. Like, I'm playing all these fetch lands. So it seems like kind of a free roll. I remember back in my day, we had, what was it? Restock was like 5 mana, return 2 cards from your graveyard to your hand, and then you had to exile Restock. And that was like actually a card I used to play in the early days of Commander just to get 2 things back to my hand. This seems so upgraded compared to that. So yeah, I think this card's actually like really good.
Hey everybody, I just want to say I appreciate you bringing this pull through the Weft to the shark sale here. As someone who has played this card, everything you both said, and Phil too, right? All 3 of y'all, everything sounds great in theory.
Yeah. Oh no.
Having taken this card out of 2 of my decks now.
Oh no. Oh no.
God.
I'm so low on this card just because the promo is great. I love it. I love Umbral Zeller, Call It Zeller, or whatever, the other promo, the sack out.
The Ancient's pretty good as well.
yeah, right? Like, normally those are sweet cards. But yeah, any of those other promos would have been better than this one, because I just feel like this one, more often than not, I'm only getting half of it. And I took this out of my Sultai Self-Mill deck, because also 5 mana, you may not think it, but it is still 5 mana. It's 5 mana to get 2
That's
lands.
Like 2 mana.
That's what you like to think. Yes. In practice, the games that I've had, though, it just clunks up, and 5 mana, it kind of bogs the whole turn down. Everybody just beat me up instantly. On top of me being me, but beat me up on top of that. I got 2 new cards back to hand that everybody knows about, and it's hard. The cards that make an impact to the board that I want are spells. The permanents that I put are too big to play all in the same turn after playing pull through the Weft. Yes, even with the 2 mana that I get back. So more often than not, this is a 5 mana, just kind of do a lukewarm amount of things. And I think this is a better slot where there's other cards that could just do a lot and more efficiently. Like one of the either halves of this card more efficiently. I do like the versatility in theory, but it just has not played well for me. So maybe that's my bias in this. That is, it has burned me. So I am not buying on this one.
Oh, Crim's analysis does kind of scare me. Although Crim is not really a green player, so I still think.
What are you all talking about? I'm the most green mage guy now.
I still think I would try it. I still think I would try it. But it is true that 5 mana is kind of a lot. And if you try it, have you played with it much yet, Phil? Like, I think if you find out you're not getting the 2 lands, if you're not getting all the modes on it, it probably is kind of bad. If you get all the modes, it's going to be really good. If you don't get all the modes, then there's probably better ways to do it. Think about all the hoops
you have to go through, by the way. I know it sounds in theory like, yeah, okay, if you top deck this turn 42, sure. But any earlier than, because turn 8, any earlier than turn 8, it does feel kind of rough. It's kind of rough still.
I can imagine.
I remember that game where I cast a Conflux and then you all killed me because I just tutored for a bunch of cards and I used all my mana to cast it. I could see that kind of happening on a lesser extent here where you double ramp, you get 2 scary things back in your hand, you used all your mana and pulled for the Weft and everyone's like, oh my god, we got to get Seth because he just got all this value. So I could see that being, Krim kind of mentioned that, I could see that being a concern. The art's really, look at those colors though. I think I'm still in. I think I'm still in
on that front.
My $40 Tanuk deck has 12 lands that easily put themselves in the graveyard, fetch, Mirror Landscape and the Capenna lands and the Evolvings and whatnot. I don't know. I feel like this is pretty easy to get on, even on a $40. And then if you have fetches, so you have proper fetches and everything. I don't know. I'm still investing in this. I wouldn't run it outside of landfall.
Like example, you're right. Everything you're saying is right, but it just doesn't play like
Once you play with it, it just
my
Glarb just a rampaging Balos on the battlefield. And when you cast it, you make 2 4/4s or something. Isn't that good? Isn't that
this
fine?
Is in this was in my Glarb deck. I just didn't like it. It just it was not.
I'm still investing. I'm still in. I'm going to try it. I might have the same experience as Crim and end up taking it back my investment after a couple of games. But for now, I'm going to remain optimistic and I'm in.
I am watching you all buy the blender that doesn't work.
You do have to work for it a lot. You do have to work for it a lot.
But I'm going to buy the blender anyways.
Oh, all right. So 2 in, Crim out. Let's move on. Tomer, what do you got for us?
Okay, I have something that's good, but now I want to talk about something weird. All right, I haven't had a chance to ever talk about this card. So in blue, we've talked. I know some of you sharks have been investing heavily in unconventional ramp in blue. Yeah, I'm a big connoisseur of that as well with my Whir of Invention, Retraced Image, yada yada. And I know at least Seth, for example, it was big on Thieving Skydiver, which is for 3 mana, you steal a Soul Ring. That's pretty good. For 4 mana, you steal somebody's Mana Rock. That's pretty good as well. Well, sharks, I come to you today with a little card I forgot existed until I built a pre-modern commander deck. This is called Steel Enchantment. It's double blue, 2 mana, double blue. Enchantment. Gain control of enchanted enchantment. So, for the low cost of 2 mana, if there's an enchantment on the board that your opponents are playing, you just take it. That's it. It's that simple. And
how
you
many
would
times
say, hey,
did you just say enchantment?
Enchantments. You would say, how often is there an enchantment on the battlefield that I want? The answer, sharks, is quite often, because you have 3 opponents. And the bar for stealing something at 2 mana is kind of low, honestly. If there's a wild growth on the battlefield, well, no, that's not very good. But if there's a Rhystic Study, if there's a Rhystic Study, I'm taking a Smothering Tithe. I'm taking it. Any random enchantment that I guess isn't already enchanted on a land like Wild Growth, because that would not be good. I'm taking it. And it's just anything I want for 2 mana. That's the thing. Is it's variance. pretty decent. But for 2 mana, I'll do it. It's obviously better in an Enchantress deck, and you get more synergies, blah, 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 blah. But, like, I'm going to take the gamble on 2 mana, steal something, make somebody cry. It's the blue way.
You know
I don't
what's
know.
not a gamble? The price tag.
Yeah, that's
How much is it?
That's one's
$14.
it's 15 bucks. 14 bucks.
14 bucks.
Yeah, I never printed in Stronghold.
I was gonna
It's
say
$15,
Yeah.
and
But it's
absurdly dependent on everyone else doing things that I want, right?
Because
Because
there's something decent that's an enchantment in their deck, right? Like most decks have
okay,
at least like
so-
5 enchantments going on. You have like
I'm
a Grave
clicking
Pact in
through-
Aristocrats. I'll take
I'm
it.
clicking through a Clash episode here, and there's the black and the green room, the closet and the annex.
walk-in closet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'd take
Let's
it.
see if I find another episode,
mean-
because that's kind of it for this episode.
We have a
from
lot of
just clicking through this, obviously.
Ghostly prisons, propagandas show up a lot in our games.
Mhm.
Like those I see a lot. We have Ristic Steady Smothering Tithe house band, so in the greater meta,
Yeah.
you'll see those more than you would on Clash. I feel like
There's
Tomer. I don't know if you've ever
artifacts, though.
watched the Shark Tank, and there's always the person that comes in and is like, "My company hasn't sold anything. I would like to get $500 million from you, Sharks." I feel like this is kind of that pitch with the $15.
It's $14.
The $14
There's a virtue of
uncommon
loyalty here.
I mean, my concern with this card, I think it's very powerful. I am naturally skeptical of cards, though, that sometimes just do nothing. And I know you say any card does that, but like I'm afraid there's going to be too many games where no one plays a meaningful enchantment, and this is just stuck in my hand. I remember, like, was it Reap? What was the card that popped off and got really
Reap.
expensive and hyped because it was like, oh, if a black thing dies, you draw all the cards. And I was like, why would anyone even play this? Like, what if no one's playing black? I don't want to
Oh,
put
that
a
was
card in my deck
Compos.
that
Yeah,
Compos,
yeah.
yeah. I don't want to put a card in my deck that only works against black decks. I want it to work against all the decks. And I feel like this has a little bit of that in there for me. Like, if I'm playing Enchantress, sure, but I don't think I would just jam this in any blue deck because I'm afraid there's just not going to be enough targets. So I think I'm out on this one.
Mana.
If it's
2
artifact
mana.
or enchantment, yeah, but enchantment is like, besides Planeswalker, I think the least.
Yeah, if you could steal mana rocks with
popular
it,
type.
then I could think of
Yeah,
it like
the
a ram
ring-
spell a lot more easily. Like, oh, this is like a weird blue ram spell, but it's harder to do that with an only hitting enchantments.
But Thieving Skydiver, if you want to steal like a Signet or something, it's 4
It is
mana.
expensive, man.
Well,
it
it's
is
2.
expensive.
Well, there's
It
2. You
is.
just have it hanging around. And whenever there's anything decent, you just steal it.
I thought this card was like 25 cents. I think I have a whole bunch in my bulk. I'm gonna have to go bulk
Oh.
digging now that I realize these cards are $14.
Oh,
Oh,
$14.
it's a Tempest. It's not Stronghold.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's not
Tempest.
reserved list, right?
No, it's an uncommon. It's not on the reserve list at
But
all.
Krim is a fellow troll, and he likes blue.
Are you in,
I
Krim?
And
feel
the
like-
text
I
box
feel like
reads
this is the-
so funny.
The Krim card.
I think
funny.
if
It is
if you read
very
it out,
funny. But like the problem is, again, I could see me playing this randomly as a one-off for a moment, but I would actually not pay $15 to own a very, very niche, specific card that is very dependent on your stuff being good, right? Because
funny
let's say I just steal like the only legal target. You know what I mean? That it's like, oh man, all right, I'll just take it because I have nothing to do.
Yeah,
The
But-
floor is pretty rough on this, right?
but
But-
what if it was cheaper? I don't know. In Card Market, I got this one
So-
for $5.
So I will
That's
say,
the benefit of being in Europe, though.
even if it was still 45 cents, I would still be out. Like,
Hmm.
the price thing is funny to me, man. But the real issue, but we don't have a budget on Commander Clash or anything, so it's not like I couldn't play it because it's $15. But the issue for me is just like the consistency. I just worry when I think of our Clash games, I can think of like 1 out of every 5 games, this card's probably busted. And then the other 4 games, I feel like I'm going to be very sad I have it in my deck because I feel like I'm just not going to have a great target. So that's why I'm out, is I just worry about the consistency. But I do see how the ceiling is really high because 2 mana is super cheap for this effect. So in the games where it
Yeah.
pops off, it's going to feel great.
All right. It seems like
So
2 no's,
Sharks or
3 nines.
I mean, I
I'm
can't
out.
take this.
Oh,
I like stealing
oh.
stuff. but it's enchantments. Why isn't it enchantment or artifact? Then it would be
great.
Probably very expensive, actually. Then it would be a.
I don't need your investment money anyway. I mean, this is gonna go to the moon.
To the moon.
It's already pretty close for an uncommon.
All right, Sharks. I got my second pitch for you. So let me ask you, Sharks. What is your go-to ramp card for colors that aren't good at ramping? There's one card that every time we do the stats episode ends up near the very top of our most played creature list, and that is Solemn Simulacrum. We all play Solemn Simulacrum. It's one of just like the best colorless ramp spells. So what does Solemn Simulacrum actually do? For 4 mana, it ramps you. And then when it dies, it draws you a card. So 4 mana, ramp and draw a card, one of the most played creatures on Commander Clash. But what no one realizes is that Wizards actually printed another, and even better in some ways, Solemn in Edge of Eternities, in the form of the Eldrazi Anticasual Vestige. So the way the Anticasual Vestige is worded, it's a little bit different than Solemn, but it actually works in a really similar way with some extra upside. You can warp it in for 4 mana. On your end step, it leaves the battlefield. You draw a card. You get to put a thing into play tapped, which can be a land. So that's 4 mana, colorless, draw a card, ramp a land. The downside is you don't have a 2/2 blocker on the battlefield the turn that you play the Solemn, but I think that Anti-Casual makes up for this by being a massive body that you can play from exile later and then eventually get that trigger again in the future. So eventually end up with a way bigger body on the battlefield. So I think that this does pretty much everything that Solemn does, but it actually does it even better because you don't even have to put a land into play with its ability. You can put something else into play if you want to. So I know it probably sounds like sacrilege, but assuming you're playing enough lands in your deck, if you're a 32 land believer, it's going to get a lot worse because the risk is that you don't have the extra land to put into play after you draw the card, then the ramp plan kind of falls apart. But if you're playing 38, 39, 40 lands, it shouldn't be a problem. But this is a card that it's played in 1% of decks according to EDH Rec, while Solemn Simulacrum's in like 13% of decks. So I'm here to sell you on Anti-Casual Vestige being a card that you should just play like Solemn Simulacrum. This isn't an Eldrazi card. It's not a card for colorless decks. It's a card that you should just play in any deck. It doesn't even require you to run a bunch of basic lands because it can put non-basic lands into play. So this is just like Solemn that was updated for 2025. It's just Solemn, but plus. So Anti-Casual Vestige. What do you think, Sharks?
No.
First off, I love that the name has stuck of anti-casual as opposed to anti-causal.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not for casual play, so I would say no, I'm out. It says it in the name.
It's in the name. It's in the name. And on top of that, you don't got to sell me on anything because, okay, so imagine Pull Through the Weft, okay? Now, I played that, took that out. And I've played Anti-Casual Vestige. Now, this card is gas. This card is the truth. This card is so darn good. I didn't even know this card was only $1 and some change. Yeah. I thought, in my mind, this is already up to the clouds, right? Like, in price. Because this card is so good. It's really good. It's super solemn. And like, that's why I like it. And the fact that, like you had mentioned, getting to play it again and putting any permanent into play when it leaves. Not when it dies or anything like that. If they bounce it, if you bounce it, whatever. Doesn't matter. You draw, you put something into play. This card is super good.
Yeah. Tomer, Phil.
I mean, this card's just good, right? Like, I thought we all knew this card is good. It's good.
Oh, why don't only 1% of decks play it? Why don't we play it?
I always forget about
deck?
it. It feels, I don't know, it's, I just think about Solemn, but this one, kind of just forget about. Yeah. Although I don't know where I would just play it in any of my paper decks, although that's a generic problem. Like, if it's not insanely on theme, I don't try to make cuts in my decks where I love every card and it's the expensive versions. But for Clash, I'll definitely keep this in mind.
Did you know though, Phil, that when you play this to like warp already without putting another land in, you can put Caretaker's Talent into play.
It's like it is better than just a land because it has that versatility in it.
Yeah,
it's you're warping in something for 4 mana that is 6 mana value. So if you have anything like sacrifice equal to mana value or cares about mana value, you get it cheaper.
Talking about that,
blinks
equal to power 7 power.
So
just Plea of wait. Desperate Plea.
Desperate Plea.
7 power.
Oh,
Reanimate a Avenger of Zendikar or something.
Pretty
Get the
much
leaves,
Splinter
a little bit
Trigger.
of magical wonderland here.
It's very good with Blink. It's very good with Haste. It's like it's a very good card. It's a very good card.
And you saw it go wild in already a few episodes of Clash, right? The week when I played my Venom deck, this is in there, and like, oh my god, yeah.
Well, I would just say, it sounds like everyone's on board with this card. I would just say for the listeners out there, my pitch is don't view it as just a card for like those colorless decks or whatever. I think this is a card that you can play in like basically any deck and get value out of, which just doesn't seem to be how people play it according to EDH Rec, which is, it seems like people only play it in like specific decks, when I think this could just be like a generic staple that you can make use of in basically any deck. Let's do one more round. Round 3. Let's go back to Phil. What do you got for us?
All right. For some reason, I'm very into sacrificing and graveyard and whatever. And this one is another uncommon, so very budgety today. 20 cents. Hollow Marauder. 7 mana, but it costs 1 less to cast for each creature spell in your graveyard. Obviously, we are talking very niche decks here, but as long as you're either sacrificing or self-milling, this will get very cheap. And then flying 4/2. When it enters the battlefield, any number of target opponent each discard a card. For each of those opponents who didn't discard a card with mana value 4 or greater, draw a card. So, wait, I forgot the card that we always played. For 4 mana, everybody discards a card, you draw a card.
Siphon Mind?
Siphon Mind, yeah. So it is similar to a Siphon Mind effect. And I think, obviously, you gotta have some creatures in your graveyard. I think it starts getting interesting at 4, like Siphon Mind. And then I think a lot of times in the late game, probably, this will be just 1 mana, and then you can sacrifice it with Desperate Plea, and then search for something, reanimate a 4 power thing, and then get it back
wild.
with pull through the map.
Combo.
It's a whole deck today. Yeah, it is very budget and a little niche, but I think this card plays very good for an uncommon.
Are you just reciting my Venom deck list? All the cards today, Vestige, Hollow Marauder. Yeah, I love this card. I don't know if I play this generically, but I do love this card in the right style of deck.
Yeah.
Like the...
I did forget about this card,
that.
too. Yeah, I need to update some of my budget brews, because it's just good in Aristocrats, and I forgot it existed. Too much text, I think. I think my eyes just glossed over after the flying bit.
I mean, if you can get the cost down to 4 or less, the card seems great. Like, maybe even at 5, it wouldn't be that bad, because you are getting a 4/2 flying body out of it, which isn't that bad. And then I imagine with the discard mode, yeah, there's going to be some times where someone discards something expensive and you don't get the card draw out of it. But a lot of times when people discard, they're discarding like an extra land or something like that. So I feel like most of the time you should get to draw like 2 or 3 cards off of this, which seems kind of insane. I'm in.
Nice. 20 cents.
Yeah, can't beat that. All right, yeah, good pick. Well, let's move on to Krim. Krim, what do you got for your last pick?
I gotta pick between 2. Okay, all right. It's only $5. It's Elesh Norn. Just Elesh Norn, the one that flips into the saga. Yeah. Elesh Norn, the saga one. 2 white vigilant. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. And then you can pay 2 white, sack 3 other creatures, exile it, flips, it becomes this whole saga. The first one is to incubate 2 5 times, then transform all incubate tokens into incubator tokens you control. And then second chapter, creatures you control get 1/1 and gain double strike. Then Chapter 3, destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Exile, flip, start over again. This card, okay, I'll be honest with you, I don't really ever flip this card. I just keep the front side. The front side alone has made it so that all the little random chip damage, because they'll have to start paying the 1. And if Tomer hates being asked to pay the 1 with Rhystic Study, well, let me tell you something. I have now found another way to ask if you want to pay the 1 again. And so if the dream is a blue-white deck where you play both Rhystic and Elesh Norn, you can ask people to pay the 1 all day long. But the main thing here is this card just burns people for 2. I think, Phil, we played a Commander Clash game where, awkwardly enough, that damage, whenever you deal damage to me or a permanent I control, unless you pay 1, mattered. Because you could not be fully aggressive.
That card as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love this card. I think this card is only $5 right now, and this has been so good at warding off attackers. A, because it's a vigilant 3/5, and the pay the 1 dealing 2. It's just one of those things where no one thinks about it. I'm playing Commander. It's 40 life. Who cares? It matters.
I'm undecided. I don't think
I'm also like going back and forth
like,
on this one.
This is like a ghostly prison, but then you could just choose to punch me in the face, and like, you lose life, but I'm getting punched in the face.
With Norn's Annex,
but it's also not on an enchantment, so it can get just eaten by a sweeper or whatever more easily.
What?
Yeah, but like that's every creature. Right, like that's every
then
creature.
I just run Ghostly Prison.
That's what I'm kind of
you play this with Ghostly Prison, but then the problem here is Ghostly Prison is actually not aggressive enough. Ghostly Prison doesn't allow them to attack you. You want them to actively attack you so that you actively deal them the damage. Whereas people just entirely ignore you if you have Ghostly Prison. As someone who wants blood to be drawn, Elesh Norn does that with like any deck with white. And Norn's Annex, there's so much sauce there. There's so much flavor. Come on.
There's flavor. I like the callback.
The flavor is good.
I don't want to be punched in the face, Krim.
But what if I told you if they punch you, I would rather you punch me and take 4 than rather just ignore me all around. Because I actually believe this is a non-bow with Elesh Norn and Ghostly Prison, because I want you to hit me and my stuff.
See, I don't think I want to get hit, though. Like, I'm kind of stuck in the same place Tomer is, where I'm like, okay, if the argument was, I'm playing this because I can flip into this really powerful backside saga, then I could be like, okay, like, maybe there's something going on with the backside. But if the plan is just to leave it on the front side, like, is this actually better than just playing like a Windborn Muse or a Ghostly, Prison on a stick style effect? Because it seems like it kind of does the same thing.
Not the same. Guys, aggression. Commander games go for too long, right? No one thinks about it until all of a sudden their life is like halfway chewed through. I promise you.
I could see, like, if you're up against a token deck and they have a bunch of 1/1s and they attack you, it's going to be a ridiculous amount of damage. Or, like, you cast a Blasphemous Act and have to take a ton of damage. So I could see scenarios where it's good. It's just hard for me to see how it's better to take damage and make your opponent lose 2 than just to keep them from damaging you in the first place with, like, a Ghostly Prison style effect.
If you can force them to blast act you, that would be
if you're like building some combo around it, you could probably do some really funny things.
Y'all gotta get more aggressive. But then you have
to go wide. Okay, you have to have a go wide token deck, and then you somehow play Hive Mind and you cast Blast Act and they copy it first. And you have like 20 creatures on the board that lose 40 life.
Got them.
You just play creatures.
Okay, I'm in.
What do you think? What do you think on this, Phil?
So I played the card in just white creature decks. It feels a little generic, I think. Like there's not too much, since it's, even if you trigger it, it's optional. I guess if you flip it, it's good, but that's kinda hard. I like the card. It is a very good body for an effect like this, I think. Like a Windborn Muse just gets maybe not lightning bolted, but it just gets swept up with everything. And this one is a little chunkier, good at attacking, good at blocking. I like it. Just, it's not very synergistic with anything, but it is. Like all these Praetors, I play Shieldred, I play Vorinclex, and I think that's the one I play the third most.
Man,
I'm out.
I'm still torn on this. But on the other hand, like even small incentives keep people from attacking in Commander. So maybe, but then you're just playing Ghostly Prison anyway.
You want people to hit
Tomer.
you.
I'm with Tomer.
Okay, hold on. But if you're playing this, let me tell. Okay, so you have a board as well. So this now makes a lot of attacks feel real bad, right? Because now you're gonna take 2 on the attack. You're still going to be able to, and then also if you swing in, are they going to block? Okay, if they do, then they have to also pay the 1. So you kind of got your damage in. Anyways, this is like an aggressive Ghostly Prison. And that is so much better to me. because it ends the game.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from. I think I'm just an actual Ghostly Prison believer. Like, I can see where you're coming from. I don't want to take the hits. Wow, just prevent them altogether and not take them. So I think
But what about your
I'm gonna be
things?
out.
It makes your blocks so much better.
No. Okay, I'll give you $1. Does that count? I'll give you a $1 investment.
I'll pay the one
I'll
time.
pay the one once.
Pay
Okay,
$1.
I'll give you a very small investment. Very small investment because Commander games do me bad.
Charitable.
So yes, a charitable donation to Elesh Norn.
I'll take it.
All right, Tomer, what do you got for your last pitch?
All right, in penance for the fact that I accidentally suggested a $14 card before, I'm going to go back with another banger from Edge of Eternities. This is Extinguisher Battleship. 8 mana, colorless artifact spacecraft. When it enters, destroy target non-creature permanent. Then the spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature station. And when it's at 5 or more, it's flying, trample, 10. So this card I glossed over until, again, I was building the 40 decks under $40. And I started just like jamming it into a bunch of decks that don't traditionally have good non-creature removal. So like black decks, red decks, green decks that don't typically have that many board wipes for creatures. And I was like, yep, this is actually working. I like that it hits any non-creature permanent when it ETBs, which means if there is a land, thank God, you can finally hit it. Unlike meteor golems of the world, this one can hit lands. Congratulations. And then 4 damage, it won't kill the biggest creatures, but it will kill most creatures. And then it becomes a 10/10 flying trampler. And that doesn't sound like anything. It sounds like whatever, a gloss over. I've turned this into a creature multiple times at this point. It matters. It matters. A 10/10 flying trample is going to kill people. And 5 to charge it up is not that much. It's not that much. And I think the card is good. All right.
Hey. This
goes live real easily. 5+ to station. This happens more often than not. I think we saw Seth pop off with that. We've seen you pop off with that, Tomer. I think this card is super sweet. I think I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
This card's great. Because it only deals 4 damage, you can often have a creature that's big enough to just immediately crew it up and station it up and have the 10/10 right away that like survives the damage from its ETB. So yeah, I played this card a few times.
Like Elesh Norn.
Like Elesh Norn actually survives the 4 damage.
No,
it does.
It kind if you give your opponents the Ex's Battleship.
But the card's really good. I think it's the best Meteor Golem variant we've gotten so far. So yeah, doesn't always sweep the board, but still the card's great.
I wish Mishra could take the hit. I kind of misread this in spoiler season because I mentioned this in the podcast when EOE came out. I did not put it into any decks yet, but I think it's like a way more chill Ugin, like for decks that can't really wrap the board. At least it's over after this one. You deal with something you really hate, and then small things get swept up. And I mean, 10/10 flying trample. The crew 5 is actually very easy, or like station 5. So I do like the card. Yeah.
I put it in my Seki deck because Seki likes taking damage, and I needed more ways of wiping the board outside of like Azura's Predation. And it was funny. And then I put it in my Boros Sephiroth deck because Sephiroth turns all your creatures to 7/5, so they just survive the battleship. And then I was like, wait a minute, is this card just actually decent? And I just started putting it in more and more decks, and yeah, it's actually pretty decent.
It's worth it. Yeah, I think we got everyone on board with this one.
Yay!
All right, so my last pick. Well, we'll see. We'll see what you guys think about this one. Because this is another card that you know, but I'm going to sell you on playing it differently than you play it now. So y'all know Leyline of Anticipation. The blue Leyline gives everything flash, right? People play it in like Kadena, Alayla, Cunning Conqueror, these decks that care about flashing. But what I'm here to sell you is you should just be playing it in all of your decks, but not for the reason that you think probably. So everyone knows that being able to play at instant speed is really powerful, right? You can get your threats in around counter spells, you can trigger stuff on your opponent's turn, you can leave up your mana to counter something and then flash in something if you don't need to. But the thing that people miss about this card is the power of just simply leaving up your mana. Just passing your turn with all of your mana up is incredibly powerful in Commander, because there's nothing that Commander players fear more than the unknown. And this makes sense because it's actually like a real thing in the real world. There was this paper published in the Journal of Anxiety Disorders in 2016 that said the fear of the unknown is a fundamental fear that underlies all of our anxieties and neuroticisms. It's basically hardwired into our brains to be afraid of the unknown. It was an adaptive behavior, right? Because back in the old days, millions of years ago, if something strange was going on, you would survive by going, away from the potentially dangerous situation. So this is just built into our brains. And we see this play out in Commander time and time again. People always kill the morph because of the uncertainty of the face down creature, even though most morphs suck and aren't worth the removal spell. But people need to get rid of the uncomfortability that they feel because of the unknown. Their brain doesn't like it. And that's the power, the true power of Leyline of Anticipation. It's like this weird propaganda that you just like leave all your mana up. It doesn't even matter what you're doing. And your opponents are going to be so afraid of the unknown, the possibility that if they do anything to you, you could flash something in. If they attack you, you could blow them out. That what they do is they just choose to do nothing, and they just choose to leave you alone for the rest of the game. So my pitch to you is you should play Leyline of Anticipation in every deck possible, because it basically breaks your opponent's brains and takes advantage of how our brains were hardwired, millions of years ago. So I think you should play this not just like to flash your stuff in, but because it's actually just like psychologically the correct way to build a Magic deck. So what do you think? Leyline of Anticipation in every deck, Sharks.
I agree, but my counter offer would be like, why are you running this over High Fate Trickster? Because it's a Leyline of Anticipation that also has Flash, so you could just play that. Also,
you love that card, and I have the fancy printing of it.
Yeah.
I also like that card. My argument would be, is a creature High Fate Trickster more likely to die? And if your plan is to like make your opponents fear the unknown and not attack you for a bunch of turns in a row, I think that that's better with Leyline of Anticipation. High Fate Trickster I really do like, because I think the power of that card is because it has Flash. It allows you to pull off combos. I think we saw someone do this last season on Commander Clash, where they flash in the High Fate Trickster like end step and then proceeded to like combo off and win the game on their end step with everything having Flash. So I think they serve different purposes, but I like the resilience of Leyline, just being less likely to die to creature removal or get swept up by a sweeper.
Oh my god, High Fate Trickster spiked.
Yeah, it's like $9 now.
What? Is it $2
I do like the
card?
Trickster.
Not anymore.
I opened a bunch of them, actually.
Lorwyn hype, I guess.
Yes.
Everyone's locked in for Lorwyn. Yeah, okay, I'm in. I buy in. Also, I'm jotting down notes right now for an upcoming video talking about psychology in Commander. That's amazing.
I like this.
I want to subscribe. I'd watch a set just talk about psychology and magic tactics. That sounds like hell yes.
Thank you. I find psychology interesting, so
like and subscribe if you want
subscribe
to do one of these videos.
I will say, though, that is the psychology behind it and with the unknown. But if you've played competitive Magic, it's just a morph. Who cares? I'm going to make you have it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I'm going to keep making you have it.
We're not playing
two Commander, and 2 generic mana up, and people are just like, it's settle. It's settle. I can't do it.
He's got darkness.
I'm going to force you to have it every time.
Yeah.
But in Commander, you can have, it's just about the risk. Like if you can attack 2 people and one of them has open mana, I think it's just correct, I think, to just say, I'm not gonna risk my commander.
But we've grazed upon how Krim always dunks on us in the game, right?
Yeah.
Remember, like, we played a game fairly recently.
He might have
Krim
a darkness.
had Stone Cold nothing, but he implanted the idea. He implanted the idea of darkness into Seth's brain.
No, Seth implanted the idea.
So afraid. Well, you were like, oh, tell me when you go to combat and stuff. He had nothing.
I had a flash blocker. That's what I had.
I will say you are right that it did work and he played me really well, taking advantage of my psychology. But
this is how it works.
I will say I think I did end up winning that game anyway. So I think it was actually like the
because
correct
he had
thing
nothing.
to do. Yes, because he had nothing. Anyway, everyone. That's our Shark Tank for this time. You've seen what we invested in. Let us know what you'd invest in out of these pitches. Are there any of these cards that you play with or you want to play, you're going to start playing after this? Let us know in the comments, and we'll be back next week to do it all again. So until then, have a great week, everyone. And this is Akira signing out.